Hello everyone, welcome to this video tutorial series on Java Technologies Lab. So today we are going to see program number 7. So what is this program about is, so in this program we are going to create a JSP page. JSP means Java Server Pages, and within that page we are going to use an action tag, JSP action tag, which is JSP Forward. Okay, right. So before going to the action tags, let's see something about Java Server Pages. So as I told you, JSP means Java Server Pages, and it is renamed to Jakarta Server Pages. Okay, so in olden days, JSP was initially called as Java Server Pages. Later, it was renamed to Jakarta Server Pages. Okay, so what is JSP is, you can see here, it is one of the most used server based technology. Okay, so at the server side, if you want to do any kind of processing, or if you want to execute some code on the server, one of the technology that you can use is JSP. Okay, so server side code means, for example, if you want to fetch the data from the database, okay, or you want to store some data into the database, okay, such kind of code you can write using JSP. Okay, of course you can write the same thing using servlet also, but JSP is easier than servlets. Okay, right, and that is one thing. And you can see JSP is used to separate business logic from presentation logic. Okay, so I am repeating again, JSP is used to separate business logic from presentation logic. For example, as you are already familiar with Java servlets, what do we do in Java servlets? We will write the code for mm, the HTML as well as the Java code in a single file. Okay, so here the presentation logic or presentation layer means whatever the client will see in the web browser. Okay, so it might be an image, it might be text, it might be a HTML form, whatever the user sees on the web page, that thing is called as presentation logic or presentation layer. And business logic means, just like I told you, if you want to fetch data from the database, or if you want to store data in the database, or if you want to validate the details given by the user, like username and password with the details in the database, all these things are examples for business logic. So if you are using servlets for doing this, this business logic code and as well as presentation logic will be written in a single file. Okay, there is no separation between them. But by using JSP, we can get the separation. Okay, so it is easier to find the code, the presentation logic as well as business logic. Right. And JSP means, I already told you this, Jakarta Server Pages. And what is the main use of JSP is, it is used for creating interactive web pages. Okay, and JSP, you can see here, it was developed by Sun Micro Systems, right? And also you can see that JSP is just an updated version of Java servlets. Okay, now let's see some differences between JSP and servlets. So on the left hand side we have servlets, on the right hand side we have JSP. So the first difference is, if you see a servlet file, what you can see is, the main thing you can see in a servlet file is Java code, and within the Java code you can write some of the HTML code. Okay, so the main thing with servlet is, primarily it is a Java code or Java code file in which you will embed HTML code. But if you come to JSP, this is actually a reverse file, reverse kind of thing. So the majority of the code that you will see in a JSP is HTML code. Within the HTML code, you will write Java code. which belongs to JSP, Java Server Pages. Okay, and second difference is if you are working with servlets, they are executed directly by the server. Okay, but if you come to JSP, if you are developing JSP page, first of all, JSP will be converted into servlet. Okay, and then this servlet will be executed by the server. So if you see this, JSP is somewhat slow because it is converted to servlet. But here there is no conversion; it will execute directly. Okay, and uh, next difference is we have something called MVC pattern or MVC architecture, which is abbreviated to Model View Controller Architecture, or you can say pattern. Okay, so what I can say about MVC is just think it of as a way or technique that you can use um, or structure your code in a neat manner. Okay, so other than that, uh, I don't want to stress more on this. Just think of this MVC pattern or MVC architecture as a technique for structuring your code. Okay, so if you consider this MVC pattern, servlet can be used as a controller. This one. Okay, if you take JSP, JSP is used generally for creating views. Okay, servlet is used for creating controller and JSP is used for creating view. Okay, so next difference is servlets allows uh, protocols, all the protocols including HTTP and HTTPS. Whereas if you see JSP, it accepts only HTTP and HTTPS protocol. Okay, it doesn't accept any other protocols like FTP, etc. Okay, and next difference is if you take servlets, session management is by default disabled. But if you come to JSP, session management is enabled by default. Okay, you can directly use sessions without creating any objects. Okay, and next difference is servlets are difficult to code when you compare it with JSP. On the other hand, JSP is easier to code if you compare it with servlets. Okay, and next one and last difference is if you are making any change to servlet code, you need to recompile the servlet file as well as restart the server. Okay, but on the other hand, if you consider JSP, if you do any changes to JSP, there is no need for recompilation and there is no need to restart the server. All changes are reflected automatically. Okay, so these are some of the differences between JSP and servlets. So if you take JSP, there are different kinds of tags. Okay, so actually JSP is very vast technology. I am not going to cover all those things in this tutorial. So let's see what is necessary for this program. Okay, so in JSP, we have one form of tag called action tag. Okay, so what is the use of an action tag is you can see here to perform some specific task. For example, what is the task means you want to move or shift from one page to another page. Okay, you want to move from one page to another page, or you want to use something called Java Bean. Uh, you are going to look at this Java Bean in one of the future program. You will see that later. Okay, and these are examples of action tags which are available in JSP. So you can see the action tag names on the left hand side here. So this is the way in which we will use an action tag. So first of all, it will begin with JSP, followed by a colon, followed by the tag name. Okay, in this case it is forward. Okay, similarly you have include, use bin, set property, get property, plugin, param means parameter, and fallback. So just pause the video and see what is the use of these tags. Okay. I hope you have gone through this. So in this program, we are going to use this one, JSP Forward. Okay. So how to use this JSP Forward tag is just like this. Okay. So you will use this Angular brackets, and you will start it with JSP like this. Okay. Followed by colon, followed by the tag name, which is forward, and you will use an attribute called page. Okay. And its value will be the JSP page to where you want to go. Okay. So what is the main use of this forward tag is, you can see here, this forward action tag is used to forward the request to another resource. So another resource can be anything. It can be a JSP page, it can be a servlet, it can be a HTML file, whatever it is, whatever you want. Okay, you can see here the resource can be anything, right? So that is about JSP forward action tag. Okay, so let's see the input and output. So all of you who have seen the previous program, that is servlet validation, will know what is this. So this is a form where the user enters username and password, and if the username and password were given as wrong, it will display this message. If the details are right, now here is the change that we have done. It will display login successful, and below that it is going to display a hyperlink. Okay, so like going to user home page. So when you click on this home page, you are going to be forwarded to this JSP page, which is gallery.jsp. Okay, so that's all. That's the theoretical explanation of this program. Now let's see the actual code of the program. So again, the entire code will be available in the video description. So you can click it, download it, and use it. So mm, the project I have created is JSP Forward. Okay. So right click, new HTML file. Okay, click this, and you give the name of that file as login.html, and just uh, type this code, or you can copy paste from the file. Okay, so this code is same as the previous program code. I didn't do any changes here. Okay, so whenever the user clicks on submit, it will go to validate.java. So here some modification I have done is, whenever the username and password is admin and 123456, I am going to write some HTML code. Okay, so basically what I am doing is, I am displaying the message login is successful, and below that text I am going to display a link. Okay, and you can see the target of the link is uhome.jsp. So let me show you what is the output of this. Mm, so let's run the project. Okay, so username is admin, password is 123456. Submit. So this is the thing. We are displaying the successful message, login successful, and below that I am displaying a hyperlink. Okay, so that is this hyperlink is being displayed by this line. Okay, so in HTML we will use a tag called a tag for displaying hyperlinks, and we will use an attribute called href. Okay, where the value of the href will be the target page where you want to go. Okay, so from the servlet I want to go to uhome.jsp page. Now let's see what is the code that I have written in uhome.jsp. So how to create a JSP file? Just right click the project, new, click on JSP file, and here you give the name. Okay, since I have already created, I am not creating again. So give the name as uhome.jsp. Okay, now in this you can write this code. Also, there is no need for this. If you want, you can remove this code. It is not needed. Okay. Uh, Now, so you can see what is this code here I have written. It is actually HTML code, right? But if you see the page, it is a JSP page. So in the differences I have told you now. So where are the differences? Yeah. So what is the first difference? If you see a JSP page, the majority of the code you will see is HTML code, and within the HTML code you will see small parts of Java code. Okay, so you can observe that here, right? So the entire code is HTML code. Within this, we have only one line of Java code which belongs to JSP. Okay, so here I am using JSP Forward Action Tag. So this is the entire tag I have used here. So JSP Forward Action Tag, right? And the page attribute is set to gallery.jsp. Okay, so what is the use of the forward tag? To forward from one page to another page. So we are forwarding from uhome.jsp to gallery.jsp. Okay, so let's see this in here. So right now you can see here, uh, when I click this, you will go to gallery. So I clicked it. Yes, you can see here. So here you are actually seeing uhome.jsp, right, in the address bar. But actually this output belongs to gallery.jsp. So here is the gallery.jsp, which is displaying this user's gallery. Okay, even though the address bar is displaying uhome.jsp, the actual web page belongs to gallery.jsp, right? So this is how you work with JSP action tags. So in particular, the action tag we have used here is forward action tag. Okay, I hope all of you have understood. Even if it is somewhat confusing, you rewatch the video again so that it will be clear for you what we have done. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you.